The Odyssey drifted silently through the void, its fusion engines barely a whisper against the vast emptiness of space. Commander Maya Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes fixed on the distant stars that peppered the black canvas before her. After 6 months of deep space exploration, the crew had mapped dozens of new systems, but they'd found nothing truly extraordinary until now. "Commander," Lieutenant Sarah Wong's voice cut through the quiet of the bridge. "We're picking up something unusual on long-range scanners." Maya turned from the window, her interest piqued. "Define unusual, Lieutenant." "It's massive. About 3 kilometers in length. The energy signature doesn't match anything in our database." Sarah's fingers flew across her holographic display, bringing up detailed scans. "And Commander, it's completely black, like it's absorbing all light around it." Maya moved to Sarah's station, studying the readings. The object was indeed unlike anything they'd encountered before. It hung motionless in space, a void against the stars, its surface so dark it seemed to bend light around it. "Artificial?" Maya asked, though she already knew the answer. "Definitely. The geometry is too perfect to be natural." Sarah highlighted several sections of the scan. "But here's the strange part. It's old. Really old. The decay patterns in the hull material suggest it's been out here for at least 100,000 years." The bridge crew fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago. Whatever this was, it predated human civilization by tens of thousands of years. "Dr. Puddle to the bridge," Maya called over the ship's comm. Within minutes, the Odyssey's chief xenorchaeologist arrived, his eyes widening as he saw the scans. "Extraordinary," he breathed, adjusting his glasses. "The construction materials, they're unlike anything in our records. The molecular structure appears to be self-repairing." Maya studied the massive shape on the screen. Something about it made her uneasy, like a shadow glimpsed from the corner of one's eye. "What do you think it is, Doctor?" "A ship, almost certainly," Paddle replied, his voice filled with barely contained excitement. "But its design, it's completely alien to any known spacefaring species we've encountered. This could be evidence of a civilization that predates all known races in the galaxy." Maya weighed her options. First contact protocols were clear. Any discovery of this magnitude needed to be reported to Earth Command immediately. But they were 3 months from the nearest relay station, and this find was too important to leave unexplored. "Take us closer," she ordered. "Maintain safe distance and run full spectrum analysis. I want to know everything about this object before we even think about approaching it." As the Odyssey drew nearer to the ancient vessel, the crew's excitement was tempered by growing apprehension. The black ship seemed to drink in their sensor beams, revealing little about its internal structure or composition. But then something changed. "Commander," Sarah's voice was urgent, "we're picking up an energy signature. It's coming from inside the ship." Maya leaned forward, her heart racing. "What kind of energy signature?" "Unknown, but it's growing stronger. Wait." Sarah's face paled. It's transmitting something." The bridge speakers crackled to life, filling the room with a sound that made everyone's hair stand on end. It wasn't radio waves or any known form of communication. It was something else entirely. A pulsing, rhythmic pattern that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly to their minds. "Record everything," Maya ordered, fighting back a shiver. "And get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They need to know what we found." But as the message continued to pulse through the ship, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they hadn't found this ancient vessel by accident. Something had drawn them here, across the vast distances of space, and whatever was waiting inside that enormous black ship, it had been waiting for a very, very long time. The initial survey took hours, each scan revealing new mysteries. The black ship's hull was composed of materials that defied analysis, and its internal structure seemed to shift and change every time they scanned it. But the most unsettling discovery came when they detected what appeared to be an opening. A massive hangar bay that had materialized on the ship's surface, as if inviting them in. "It's responding to our presence," Dr. Patil observed, his voice barely above a whisper. "This ship, it's alive. Or at least, its systems are still active after all this time." Maya knew they were standing on the precipice of something momentous. Every instinct told her to be cautious, to wait for backup, to follow protocols. But she also knew that discoveries like this came once in a species' lifetime. They had found something that could change humanity's understanding of the universe forever. "Prepare an expedition team," she announced, her decision made. "We're going to board that ship." As the crew began their preparations, none of them could have known that they were about to uncover a secret that had been hidden for eons, a secret that would forever change humanity's place in the cosmos. The Awakening. The expedition team assembled in the Odyssey's main airlock, their environmental suits gleaming under the harsh light. Commander Chen surveyed her chosen crew. Dr. Patel, whose expertise in synorcheology would be invaluable. Lieutenant Wang, whose technical skills might help them interface with any active systems. And Chief Engineer Marcus Rodriguez, whose practical experience could prove crucial if they encountered any mechanical challenges. "Remember," Maya addressed the team, her voice steady despite the tension in her chest. "We're dealing with technology far beyond our understanding. Nothing is to be touched without proper scanning and assessment. If anything feels wrong, we abort immediately." The team acknowledged her orders as they performed their final equipment checks. Their suits were the latest in human protective technology, designed to withstand extreme environments and equipped with advanced scanning capabilities. Yet Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were children playing with technology far beyond their comprehension. The journey across the void between the ships was eerily silent, broken only by the sound of their own breathing within their helmets. As they approached the massive hangar bay, the scale of the black ship became apparent. It dwarfed the Odyssey, making their own vessel seem like a mere toy in comparison. The hangar bay opened wider as they approached, like a massive maw welcoming them in. Their shuttle's lights seemed to be swallowed by the absolute darkness of the interior, creating an unsettling effect as they made their final approach. "Life support readings are stable," Rodriguez reported, surprise evident in his voice. "Atmosphere is present, and surprisingly Earth-normal. Temperature at 20 degrees Celsius. That's impossible," Dr. Patel muttered. After all this time, how could the environmental systems still be functioning? The shuttle touched down with a gentle thud, and the team waited as their instruments continued to analyze their surroundings. The hangar bay was vast, its ceiling lost in the darkness above them. Their lights revealed sleek, curved walls that seemed to absorb illumination rather than reflect it. "Keep suits sealed for now," Maya ordered as they prepared to disembark. "We take no unnecessary risks." As they stepped onto the deck, their boots made no sound. The material beneath them seemed to absorb all impact. Their lights revealed no dust, no sign of age or wear. It was as if the ship had been sealed in a perfect moment of time, waiting for them. Dr. Patel's handheld scanner chirped suddenly, drawing everyone's attention. "Commander, I'm detecting power signatures. They're growing stronger. The ship, it's responding to our presence." As if on cue, lines of soft blue light began to appear along the walls and floor, spreading outward from where they stood like a wave of luminescence. The effect was beautiful but unsettling. It was clear the ship was aware of them. "Look at this," Sarah called out, her light playing over what appeared to be writing on one of the walls. The symbols were unlike anything they had ever seen, yet somehow they seemed to shift and change as they watched, as if trying to communicate. "It's adapting," Dr. Patel breathed, his scanner working overtime to record the changes. "The ship's systems are actively trying to interface with us." They followed the illuminated pathways deeper into the vessel, each step revealing new wonders and mysteries. The corridors seemed to reshape themselves as they walked, widening or narrowing to accommodate their passage. It was organic, almost alive, yet clearly artificial. These construction techniques, Rodriguez marveled, running a gloved hand along one wall. The entire ship seems to be made of some kind of programmable matter. It's responding to our presence, our needs. They came to a vast chamber that appeared to be the ship's bridge or control center. As they entered, holographic displays sprang to life around them, filling the air with dancing lights and incomprehensible symbols. "This is incredible," Sarah whispered, her technical expertise driving her to examine the nearest console. "The interface is adapting to our presence, trying to translate itself into forms we can understand." But as she reached out to touch one of the displays, everything changed. The gentle blue light suddenly shifted to a deep, pulsing red. The symbols on the walls began to move more rapidly, and a low hum filled the air, building in intensity. "Wong, step back," Maya ordered, but it was too late. The moment Sarah's hand made contact with the console, a surge of energy rippled through the chamber. The holographic displays exploded into a cascade of light, and a voice, not sound, but pure thought, thundered through their minds. "Ge nitac profile HCCPT, initiating awakening protocol." The ship shuddered around them, and Maya realized with growing horror that they hadn't just discovered an ancient vessel, they had activated it. And whatever purpose this ship had been built to serve, whatever secrets it had been protecting for millennia, were about to be revealed. The Guardian's test. The chamber's red glow intensified as a figure materialized before them. A hologram, but one so sophisticated it appeared almost solid. It took the form of a tall, humanoid being composed of shifting geometric patterns, its face a complex array of moving symbols. "I am the Guardian," it announced, its thoughts translating directly into their minds. After 127,849 cycles of dormancy, acceptable candidates have finally been detected. Maya stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her racing heart. "I am Commander Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Odyssey. We mean no harm. We're explorers. Your intentions are irrelevant." The Guardian interrupted. "The awakening has begun. You will be tested." The chamber's walls rippled like liquid metal, and suddenly the team found themselves surrounded by a series of floating geometric shapes and symbols, all pulsing with different colors and energies. The Ancient Ones left this vessel as both sanctuary and safeguard. The Guardian continued, "Only those who prove worthy may access its power. Only those who demonstrate sufficient advancement may bear the responsibility." Dr. Patel's scanner was working overtime, trying to analyze the shifting patterns around them. "Commander, these symbols, they're not just decorative. They're mathematical equations, physical constants, universal truths expressed in geometric form." "Correct," the Guardian acknowledged. "The first test begins now. Decode the pattern. Understand the message. Time is limited." The floating symbols began to move faster, arranging themselves in complex configurations. Sarah's eyes darted between them, her mind racing to identify patterns. "It's not just math," she muttered. "It's a language. The symbols aren't just showing equations. They're telling a story." Maya watched as her team worked, each bringing their unique perspective to the puzzle. Rodriguez noticed how the patterns mimicked energy flows, while Paddle recognized elements that corresponded to astronomical phenomena. "The symbols near the top," Sarah pointed, "they're showing the formation of a solar system. But look how they interact with the lower sequences." "It's evolution," Patel breathed. "The mathematical expression of how life emerges from chaos, how intelligence develops from basic building blocks." Maya saw it too now. The patterns weren't just random tests. They were telling the story of life itself, of consciousness emerging from the cosmic void. It was beautiful and profound, a universal truth expressed in the language of mathematics and light. "The patterns," Maya spoke, understanding flooding through her. "They're not just showing us these concepts. They're asking us to demonstrate that we understand them, that we comprehend our place in the cosmic order." The Guardian's form shifted, its patterns aligning with those floating around them. Explain. Maya took a deep breath, knowing their future might depend on her next words. These equations show the fundamental forces that shape our universe, but they're arranged to tell a story, the story of how conscious life emerges and evolves to understand these very forces. It's a test to see if we can recognize ourselves in the cosmic narrative. The human speaks truth. The guardian acknowledged, its form brightening. But understanding is only the beginning. The true test lies in how you will use this knowledge. The chamber transformed again, this time creating what appeared to be a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Thousands of points of light sparkled in the darkness, but scattered throughout were areas of complete darkness, voids where no stars shone. "Behold the legacy of the Ancient Ones," the Guardian announced, "and the price of failure." The team stared in horror as they realized what they were seeing. Entire sectors of space, thousands of light years across, where all light and matter had been systematically erased from existence. What happened to those regions? Maya asked, though part of her dreaded the answer. They were judged and found wanting. The Guardian replied simply, "As you will be judged. The power contained within this vessel can create or destroy. Only those who prove themselves worthy of such responsibility may access it." The holographic display zoomed in on their own sector of space, highlighting Earth and its neighboring systems. The message was clear. They were now being evaluated, and the stakes were unfathomably high. "Your next test begins now," the Guardian announced. "You will face challenges that will test not just your intelligence, but your wisdom, your courage, your very humanity." The chamber's lights pulsed again, and new patterns began to form around them. Maya exchanged glances with her team, seeing in their eyes the same mix of fear and determination she felt. They had come seeking knowledge, but had found themselves in a trial that would determine the fate of their entire civilization. Trial by fire. The chamber transformed around them, the holographic displays coalescing into a series of interconnected scenarios. Each one showed a different crisis, playing out in real time before their eyes. "These are not simulations," the Guardian announced. "What you see are real events happening across different sectors of space. Your test is to decide which you will save." The first scene showed a colony ship, its systems failing as it drifted toward a massive solar flare. Thousands of lives hung in the balance. The second revealed a research station orbiting a collapsing neutron star, its data potentially crucial for understanding the fundamental forces of the universe. The third displayed a small planetary outpost under attack from an unknown hostile force. "You have resources to save only one," the Guardian stated. "Choose." Maya felt the weight of command press down on her shoulders. Each scenario represented an impossible choice: lives versus knowledge versus defense. The Guardian was testing not just their problem-solving abilities, but their values, their very concept of what was worth saving. "Wait," Sarah interrupted, her eyes darting between the displays. "The patterns in the background. They're the same as before. These scenarios aren't isolated. They're connected." Dr. Patel nodded vigorously, his scanner picking up subtle energy signatures. "She's right. The neutron star's collapse is causing the solar flare, and its gravitational effects are what drew the hostile force to this sector. If we save the research station," Rodriguez added, catching on, "we might gain the knowledge needed to protect both the colony ship and the outpost." Maya studied the scenarios more carefully now. The team was right. This wasn't a test of choosing between different values. It was a test of seeing the bigger picture, of understanding how all things were interconnected. "We don't have to choose between them," Maya announced to the Guardian. "The real solution is understanding how these crises affect each other. By solving the root cause, we can address all three problems simultaneously." The Guardian's form shifted, its patterns becoming more complex. "Explain your reasoning." Maya stepped forward, her confidence growing. "The neutron star's collapse is the key. If we can stabilize it using the research station's equipment, we'll prevent the solar flare that threatens the colony ship. The gravitational disturbance is what's drawing the hostile force. They're likely scavengers attracted by the star's unique energy signature. Solve one problem, solve them all. The scenarios froze, then dissolved into streams of light. The Guardian's form grew brighter, its voice resonating with something that almost seemed like approval. You demonstrate wisdom beyond mere problem-solving, it acknowledged. But wisdom alone is not enough. Now comes the true test of your species' worth. The chamber darkened, and a new scenario appeared, one that made Maya's blood run cold. It showed Earth, their home, but alongside it was a display of tremendous power, the ability to advance their civilization by centuries, to cure diseases, to end scarcity and suffering. The final choice, the Guardian announced. Accept this power, and your species will leap forward beyond your wildest dreams. But doing so will draw the attention of forces in the universe that prey upon emerging civilizations, forces that the Ancient Ones gave their existence to contain. Maya felt her team's eyes on her. This was no longer a test of logic or even wisdom. It was a test of humanity's very nature. You offer advancement, but at the cost of potentially drawing devastating attention to Earth, Maya summarized. Why offer this choice at all? Because advancement without understanding is extinction, the Guardian replied. The Ancient Ones learned this truth too late. Their civilization rose to heights unimaginable, but their power drew the attention of that which lurks between the stars. Now only this vessel remains, waiting for those wise enough to learn from their mistakes. The chamber hummed with energy as the Guardian awaited their decision. Maya looked at her team, seeing in their faces the same realization she had reached. This wasn't just about their small crew anymore. They were making a decision that would affect the entire course of human history. Humanity's stand. Maya stepped forward, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. We reject the offer. The Guardian's form flickered, its patterns shifting rapidly. Explain. Humanity must advance on its own terms, at its own pace, Maya continued. The Ancient One's gift is generous, but it would rob us of something more valuable than technological advancement, the journey of discovery itself. Sarah stepped up beside her commander. Each problem we solve, each challenge we overcome, shapes who we are as a species. We learn not just from the solutions, but from the struggle to find them. The Ancient One's fate proves this, Dr. Patel added. They advanced too quickly, gained power they weren't ready to handle. We won't make the same mistake. Rodriguez nodded. We'll find our own way, face our own challenges. And when we eventually encounter these forces you speak of, we'll face them as a species that's earned its place among the stars. The Guardian's form grew brighter, expanding to fill the chamber with intricate patterns of light. In all the cycles since the Ancient Ones fell, no species has refused the offer of advancement. All sought power, regardless of consequence. Yet you choose the harder path. Because it's the right path, Maya replied. Humanity's strength isn't in our technology or our knowledge. It's in our determination to earn every step forward, to learn from every failure, to face every challenge together. The chamber erupted with light, and the Guardian's form transformed. The geometric patterns resolved into a shape that was almost human, yet transcendent. When it spoke again, its voice carried a warmth that hadn't been there before. The final test was not in the choice itself, but in the reasoning behind it. You have proven that humanity possesses something the Ancient Ones lost: wisdom to temper ambition, humility to balance power. The ship's walls rippled, and new displays appeared, showing star charts and scientific data. You will not receive the power the Ancient Ones left behind, for that was never the true gift to bestow. Instead, you will receive this. The displays showed coordinates scattered across the galaxy. These are locations of other vessels like this one, each containing different fragments of the Ancient One's knowledge. They are hidden, protected, waiting to be found when humanity is ready to discover them through your own efforts. Maya studied the star charts, understanding dawning. A roadmap for our development. Not gifts of advancement, but markers to guide our natural progress. Precisely, the Guardian confirmed. Each vessel contains knowledge, but only knowledge your species is prepared to understand through your own advancement. You will find them when you are ready, not before. The chamber began to shift again, returning to its original state. Return to your people. Share what you have learned here, not of the power that was offered, but of the wisdom in earning your place among the stars. The Ancient Ones watched civilization after civilization destroy themselves with power they weren't ready to wield. You have shown that humanity may succeed where they failed. As the team prepared to return to the Odyssey, Maya turned back to the Guardian. What happens to this ship now? It will remain, watching, waiting. Perhaps one day, humanity will return here, having found all other vessels, having earned the right to know the full truth of the Ancient Ones. On that day, you will be ready for the final revelation. The Guardian's form began to fade. Go now. Your journey, humanity's true journey, is just beginning. As they made their way back to their ship, Maya reflected on their experience. They had come seeking knowledge of an ancient civilization, but had found something far more valuable, an understanding of humanity's own potential, and the wisdom to know that the path to the stars was one they had to walk themselves, one step at a time. The Odyssey broke away from the Black Ship, its crew forever changed by their encounter. As they set course for Earth, Maya knew that they carried with them not just coordinates and data, but a profound truth. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in the power they could be given, but in their determination to earn it.